About you, but when I look up here, I can't see who's talking, so I'm going to be the talking head for you. Listen, I love it when employees share how they feel about whom they work for. Because if you really want to know about the people you work for, you talk to their employees. And it's just great. And I love the fact that the knitter circle over there is knitting and it's really awesome. So, because you can't see me, I'm going to take out a few notes. Oh, I got the picture too. In review, which I used to seed some of this conversation. Yeah, it was about a week before the actual announcement that I had heard that a downtown business was won the award, and I smiled to myself because I really had a strong hunch that it would be John and Kit, because I honestly couldn't think of anyone who would deserve it more. I first met, I'm not exactly sure on the timing, but Kit and John and I met during the Winslow Tomorrow experience, and the possibility of Winslow being torn up was out there a ways. So it's today now, obviously. But having this conversation with them about their concerns about how they're going to make it through during something as cataclysmic as that. And then fast forward to just the first part of this year when the conversation became very real because we knew what was going to happen. And there was this voice out there speaking of calm, speaking of keeping your eye on the big picture, trying to envision the end product. And I thought that was an extremely important message that you put together. It was definitely needed for the time. And that's a big part, I think, of how you define leadership, taking a stand and having everybody sit back a little bit and think about the big picture. What makes a great place to shop? Well, it obviously starts with the shopkeepers and their genuine interest in the products that they sell or the press that they represent. When I read in this article that Kit had been a fiber knitter, I never heard that before. But yeah, really? Okay, you were a fiber knitter all her life, and that she, or most of your life, when you were 7 years old. That really reminded me of something that I've heard a while ago about when you think of yourself, sometimes, and try to understand who you are as a person, a good way to do that is to look back to your childhood. To look back to your childhood and ask yourself, what did I do, or what did I find myself doing when I was really, really happy? And so it's kind of like, looking at your life like an onion. You peel away the skins of the onion, find out who you really are doing deep. And I just really loved hearing that you, when you were really young, love this work. It's great. And then look what you two have created. It's just honestly amazing. The word destination was mentioned earlier, and when we, our company, worked on Central Market, one of the things that we would tell ourselves is that we're trying to create a destination store, and meaning a place where people will purposely, intentionally come to and bypass other services that are of similar nature. And quite frankly, you have redefined what destination is to me, because Central Market's a big store, and so we've learned that bigger isn't always better. It's all about being unique. It's all about providing something that is different than the competition out there. And then when you can express who you are through your work, you can imagine. I asked my wife, because last minute I thought about saying a few words, and I said, what do you think about when you think of church mouse? And she said, a place of creativity and warmth. Creativity and warmth. That's absolutely true. This article also talked about the understanding of the importance of local support. And I'd like to rephrase that because I talked to Kit and John about this. It's not about just supporting local people. It's really about local people earning the right to support its community. We do not want anyone to shop any of our places of business unless we felt that we provided a value, something of value to people to come. Not out of guilt or any other dimension, but because they want to come and shop. The importance of being located downtown. We certainly have had that conversation ourselves in our company, and now that things are moving along, we're so happy that we are downtown. So what is the future for Main Street? Do we have a community that values downtown? How will we as businesses respond to stay relevant to our customers? Another part of the article which I liked is, it referred to Kit as the Church Mouse brand. And then I read that John brought his marketing skills to the business, so right on, John, you're really good about diverting attention from yourself to Kit. I really love that. Brilliant on your part. And I love this picture that was in the review that I'm sure many of you have seen. It's of them sitting down in their shop and color all around them and holding hands. And that was pretty cool too. So I really feel that who you are for each other has a lot to do with who you are for all the people that you come in contact with, including all of us here. And then I know I read it somewhere, I can't remember exactly, but when you got through work, you accepted it on behalf of all the merchants or something like that. And I just laughed to myself, and that's who they are. Because that's really who they are. So, congratulations to you both. So happy for you. So proud.
I accepted this nomination, and I just want to speak as a downtown businessman. Even though we're not on Winslow Way, we are on Madison, and we really depend on Winslow Way for our guests to have someplace to go, and we house a lot of tourists that come here to the island. Well, when we started 7 years ago, we kept asking, what is the tourist attraction here on Bainbridge that brings people to the island? And we found out in the first few weeks, when guests started returning to the inn with bags of yarn, or calling and making a reservation because they were coming to learn to knit or attend a class, or recently, a guest asked me if I could please arrange for UPS to ship their yarn back because it wouldn't all fit back into their stomach. So we learned pretty quickly that indeed our local knitting shop is a primary tourist destination and brings a tremendous number of people to the island. I want to thank Kit and John, and I want to thank every member of your staff, because we hear constantly from people off the island what nice people you all are and how generous and kind you are to our guests. And I want to thank you for bringing those people to the island, because the ones who come and shop with you are the kindest guests that we get.
I want to share is Kit and John welcome someone from outside the fold. I'm not a knitter. I've tried again and again to like tea. So I'm not their typical person who they consider to be part of the family. But several years ago, when I accepted the position as the head of the Downtown Association, I became the new kid on the block. Shortly after, I moved into the little office John appeared at the door with a teacup, a package of very special tea, some shortbread cookies, and the beginnings of a friendship that really served as the foundation and guidance and cheerleader for a lot of what I did for the following 2 years. So it's a privilege to consider you both friends, and absolutely a well-earned, well-deserved honor.
Thank you, Amber, Kevin, Andy. Thanks for this great honor. And because we're retailers, we have to thank our customers. Okay, a lot of you are here. I know Larry, and his wife, who gets her certificate every year. Also, really, we're pretty uncomfortable standing here by ourselves, so we have to really talk about our staff. Can you just stand up, please?
Yes.
We have to end with you guys. You're the face of Church Mouse, you're the vision of Church Mouse. Thank you. But as we said before, we really want to accept this on behalf of the merchants in downtown Winslow, merchants, and also, you know, the restaurants, not just the shopkeepers, restaurants, hoteliers, thank you, Bonnie, people that support the merchants, insurance companies, banks, accountants, the people that keep them going. So, I'll turn it over.
Well, I was basically just going to say what he said. And I just want to join John in thanking the chamber and all of our customers and all of our fellow merchants and our staff. This honor came at a really interesting time. It came during a week when John and I had just been having these conversations of, oh God, what are we doing? You know, can we keep doing this? And it was kind of funny because we're a very illustrious company with the people who have received this honor before us. And we figured when Kevin and Andy came to tell us, we thought,